Hi, welcome back. Welcome to another vlog. This week is my first week of finals, and you're going to come along with me. I just came back from my first final, which was in Irish literature, but I have a second final in a couple of days for a subject that has more to do with like research and like the language that we use in research and citing properly and that kind of stuff. And then on Thursday, which is 3 days from now, I also have a test to prove that I have the first level of the language that I'm currently learning, which is Galician, because that's the like the other official language of this place in which I live in, of this specific region of Spain, because it's one of the requirements to like work here and stuff. And if I want to work here in the future, I have to get fluent in the language. So I'm trying to do that. I am attending a language school. So yeah, this Thursday I have the test, the first part of the test, in which they're going to evaluate like if I can write and read in the language and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty intense week, and apart from that, I'm going to be reading just the same things that I was reading last week because I am a slow reader. So I need to finish Heart of Darkness once and for all. But I'm also going to be reading A Ghost in the Throat, and I'm going to try to start Mrs. Dalloway in this next couple of days if I have time. And yeah, that's going to be this week for me.
It's RSS.
I just came back from an interesting day. I had my final today, and I think it went well. I think I did pretty good. I did study most of the things that were in the exam, so I do expect like a decent grade at least. I was a bit nervous when I before the exam, but yeah, I felt like I did pretty well. And after my final, I went to the movies with my friends, and we went to see the live action of The Little Mermaid, which I was not planning on watching, honestly, because I don't really enjoy live actions. I'm a big fan of animation, so I just don't really like to support like this whole idea of converting everything animated to a live action, especially because of how they're usually like cash grabs. But I'm going to be very honest, I didn't expect to like it so much. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. It was very charming and endearing. Halle definitely has the voice and the look of a Disney princess. I loved her in the role of Ariel. I think that she did a great job, and I'm just very happy with the whole thing. Well, I did think about watching this movie when I heard that Lin-Manuel Miranda was going to be in charge of the soundtrack, and then I heard on Twitter they shared a snippet of one of the songs where he basically does like this fast rap thing that he always adds to everything, and it was a bit cringy. And I am a big fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda. I usually enjoy his work a lot, but that thing almost made me not want to watch it. And it's very sad because I do think that he's a very talented man, and I hope that he continues to work with Disney and with other in other musicals as well. But I just need him to stop with that style of rap and songs. It's not always in tone with the movie, and I'm glad that some people liked it, but I did cringe in that specific part. But for the rest of it, I think that he did a great job at adapting the soundtrack and the new songs. I did like a lot of them. The Eric song I didn't really enjoy as much. I just think it was a bit like uninspired, especially the lyrics. Eric's actor, however, he was very good on that role, and he was also very charming, very I don't know, he's a good looking man and he should do more romantic comedies, honestly. I also really liked the changes that they made in also talking about the songs and stuff, the fact that they gave Ariel like an internal voice to sing and express herself a bit more. I thought that was very interesting, and I really liked that, because Ariel to me was always very like not very present in the movie because of her lack of a voice. Yes, she was charming, but in the animated film I just never connected with her, and I wasn't a big fan of the animated movie, honestly. From all of the Disney animated movies, that was the one that I liked the least, maybe, or one of the ones I didn't really enjoy. But yeah, I like that they did the change. They gave Ariel more of a personality and complexity and interests that actually make her like an interesting character. And Eric as well, I think that the fact that they gave him an interest and a personality and desires and intentions of his own was also very, very fun. Another thing I liked in this adaptation was the change of setting, the fact that it is set in the Caribbean. I think that it was very fun and very nice to see overall, like as a person who grew up very close to Caribbean cultures, it was just very it was lovely to see some specific elements of these cultures represented in such a big film. Some things I didn't really like, well, Flounder. First of all, I just think that they didn't give him enough of an expressive face or eyes. Like I thought that Sebastian was like really cute and very expressive, but Flounder was just very flat to me. I think that they could have done better. Flounder just needed a bit more work to be like as charming as he was originally. I don't know, I don't remember the animated movie. I haven't seen it in a while. This is not really a criticism, but something that I felt like really showed the restrictions or the limitations of CGI and this like realistic style, which is the scene of Under the Sea. It's not that I didn't like it, but you can clearly see how they had to lose some of the magic of the original version, because I think that the reason why it is such a fun song in the animated film is because of the whole because of the fact that the song is played completely intradiegetically, like all of the instruments are played by the animated animals and the sea creatures. But in this version, of course, it didn't make much sense to have them play the instruments, so instead they had to be a bit more creative, and I do think that they did a good job. They did the best they could, and it was very very beautiful. It resulted in very beautiful scenes. So instead of having them play the instruments, you have them like dancing and using their bodies and the colors of these beautiful sea creatures being showcased in the big screen. It was very beautiful, but I just think that some of the magic of the animation is lost when translating it to live action. So yeah, that's one thing that it's not really a criticism. As I said, I do think that it was very creative and very entertaining, and that was like the best decision they could have made. But it just shows like that contrast between like traditional animation and this live action CGI animated films. The one thing that I didn't enjoy at all was Melissa McCarthy's performance. She just wasn't very believable, and that's sad because I do like her. I do think that she's usually very entertaining, but in this specific role, I just think that they should have had someone who's more dramatic and theatric, and she was just not there. And I'm not saying that she did a bad job, but her scenes felt very disconnected to the rest of the film, because the rest of the cast did an amazing job, and especially the fact that this girl who played like Ursula when she's like the human version, this girl was very dramatic, and she was a lot of fun to watch, and I would have liked a bit more of that in Melissa McCarthy's performance. Another thing that I noticed, and I don't know if this is like mostly in my head or maybe I'm projecting, but I have just noticed how everything that Lin-Manuel Miranda is involved in usually has secondary themes related to immigrants and migratory processes and the experiences of being an immigrant. Just these themes of being an outsider, of following your dreams but leaving your home behind. So even if you find happiness and if you are very welcomed in a new place, you still feel that sadness and that nostalgia for the place that you left behind, which are themes that I do really enjoy, and they always hit very close to home. So I ended up crying a lot in the movies, in the theater, which was a bit embarrassing. But yeah, I think that this is like a pattern, and I do admire and appreciate how he is always adding these themes to the projects that he works in. And again, I don't even know if he's responsible for that, but yeah, I do think that those secondary themes were present in this version, and I'm very glad for that. I never really liked the animated version as a child because I always thought that the animated version was very cheery, and I grew up reading the version of the tale where she ends up becoming sea foam, and I always felt that disconnection. I think that even though this version is very, like, it follows the same argument as the Disney version, and it has the same ending and all of that, it still feels like they embraced a bit more the darkness of the original tale, the sadness and the melancholy and the nostalgia. I think that was a very good decision because it's such a heartbreaking story. So the fact that they committed to creating a more like slightly darker version that tackles more maybe mature or like more complex themes, I think that was a very good decision, and I really enjoyed how at certain points you could really feel that the pain in this whole story. Overall, I thought that the movie was a lot of fun and very nice, very pretty, very beautiful, very well executed. I did give it a 4.5 star. I'm not very like I give 5 stars to a lot of the things that I enjoy, so I'm not very reliable with movie criticism, honestly. I just give good scores to everything that I like. But yeah, I do think that they executed it very, very well. Hi, I'm back. Today I had my last final of this semester, and I think it went pretty well. I think that I did okay. It was on literature, from the English literature from the 20th and 21st century, mostly focusing on poetry and some novels that we read. And yeah, I think that I did a good job, even though it did take me a long time because I was very unfocused and I kept forgetting about a very specific word that I wanted to use. But either way, I think that I did a good job. And yeah, that was my final. That was my last final of the semester. I still have some stuff from school to do. I have a like a short lab in a couple of days, and I have a presentation next Monday, and then I do have one like final test, another final in 2 weeks, and that's for a class that I'm retaking. So it's not actually like a class from this semester, but one that I'm doing again. And it's taking me a while to pass that class because it's in Galician and it's very advanced, and I just don't have the correct level to pass that class, and it's one of the mandatory modules in my career. So yeah, I still have to study for that. But since I have a couple of weeks, I think that I'm just going to sign off for today and go rest for a bit. It's almost 4 in the afternoon already, so it's not like I have a lot of time. I'm just going to go watch something or maybe play a game. And yeah, tomorrow I'll get back to studying.
Let's do things differently this time.
So as you can see, I went to watch Across the Spider-Verse last night. I saw it on opening night, I think. It was a lot of fun. I'm already seeing a lot of hype and stuff on the internet, but yeah, I'm just so happy with that movie. I think it's one of my favorites of like, I mean, I just saw it once, so a lot of my impressions are like very fresh and very like born of excitement, but it was just so amazing, so good. Oh my god, it was just great. I mean, it was more than 2 hours. I think the runtime was around 2 hours and like 15 minutes or something. Usually I have a lot of trouble focusing on movies because because they're so long, and I'm usually not very good at focusing for so long on a single thing. But with this movie, there was so much stuff happening that I just felt I never felt overwhelmed. Maybe I was like almost there, but it was great. I think that it was just the right amount of colors and stuff going on, and I love the animation. I have said already that I'm a big fan of animation, and the animation on this movie was amazing, but I think that my favorite part was the soundtrack. It was incredible. I loved the soundtrack. I always pay a lot of attention to like the instrumental soundtrack. I always love to to listen to like the little cues, the motifs, and this movie had so many leitmotifs. I adored the soundtrack. I think they did an amazing job with that movie. And apart from that, I also the story. I think that the story did a great job. I think that the I get that some people usually like stories that are like very traditional in the sense that they have like beginning, middle, end, and like a one purpose. I loved that this movie was a bit fragmented, that they had like different episodes and a lot of characters going on at the same time. And I mean, it's not like a big plot twist or any. Well, I mean, I don't think that it's about giving this big plot twist. I think that in the very center of the movie, the plot is very simple, but they knew how to present it in a very like innovative and a very creative way. So that's why I was so engaged with the movie, even though I knew most of what was going to happen. It was very well executed, and yeah, I adored this movie. I don't want to talk a lot about it. Maybe I will in like a future vlog, but I just want to close this one telling you guys how much I love this movie. I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and I'm going to be talking about this movie for like months. Yeah, I thought it was amazing, and I think it's going to be like one of my favorite movies ever. I gave it 5 stars, and I really want to watch it again. I don't think I will be able to watch it until they put it on like streaming platforms, because here in Spain they only bring the English versions for like a week, and then everything is just like dubbed in Spanish, and I don't really like watching dubbed movies, so that makes me a bit sad, but I'm really excited to watch it again. As you can see, they did give me a poster of the movie because I went on opening night. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what everyone else thinks of this amazing movie. And yeah, I think that this is going to be it for this vlog. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that we will see each other in the next couple of weeks. Bye!